This is Justin AMZN for Friday, January 10th, 2020. Taking a look at the 5 minute, how things moved. Right at the open, it just collapsed quickly. Took out the low from Thursday, tried to recover a little bit, ran into kind of this whole, all of this was just right at the consolidation, right at the close from Thursday. And then what I really liked here was this inverted hammer, a gap down, inside, and just collapsed. It just slowly rolled over. You had plenty of time to get in bearish through here. And it was a lot of bearish candles in a row, but it just kept moving down. It kept making lower lows, lower highs, all the way down here. Again, taking out the low of the day, retested back into this pivot, tried to touch the 21, didn't even get there, rolled down again, new low. Here's a little hammer, comes back up to the 21. It just kept rolling over right at the 21, except like right here. But that was after it touched our line at 1880.05. And so this, this gap during the day, when you see it move like this and then doesn't fill it. Let me zoom in on this some more. The gap right here, it gapped past the moving averages. It had the squeeze going. It then made like an inside candle that broke down, inside candle that broke down, and then made lower lows, lower highs. Another gap here. It basically turned this, I can't remember the name of it. It's not like an island reversal because it didn't reverse. It's just like an island, with a couple gaps to break it off from the rest. It's not this isn't technically like the island, but anyway, it's because the price range is still where it's been already. But this one, this gap is pretty clear. This one still has not filled. This one still is not filled. This was clearing. I guess it had already pushed through that pivot. So we'll see how long this little gap or this gap hold. If we get some sort of rally off of this line into next week, or what's going to happen, I don't know. But pretty much after this opening candle, you just had to be patient. And this was a couple hours. This was right at 10:30, which is a good time for things to roll over or reverse. 10:30 Central. The calls, they just went sideways. This is the 1900 calls, just went completely sideways for a while. And then you had that breakdown at that gap. The puts, this is the 1885 puts. This is what I was in. So the gap happened like right at 10:30. So I was in on this candle. I got in at 0.75 or $75. And that had a really quick move right back up to this high, really good target. Came back down again, touched one. I don't think you would have been filled right at one, probably 125 or something, and just did it over and over again, 125 to 4, or almost. Well, this was almost 4. This made it to 4, then back down to like 150, then back up to 4, then back down. It's just like went from 2 to 4, 2 to 4 a bunch of times over here, and then came back to like 2, and then ran up to 5. So a number of times you could have been taking the same trade, or maybe not the exact same trade, but doing like 2 to 4 multiple times, a lot of times, because every time it hit the 21 was basically another time that it hit $2 on the 1885 put. Now, if you're looking at different options like 1900 put that we were looking at on Thursday, this, okay, there we go. Let me do that again because it had that quick move right at the open. There we go. Okay. So it had the quick move right at the open and then came all the way back down. That quick move came all the way back down, almost came back down to that open price at 4. Had some really nice small candles. And then this was the gap, these two right here, between these two. And then the other gap, I think, was like right at 11. Yeah, right from like 10:59 to 11 was the next gap. And so right through here, it's making it, it's just straddling $6. You could have just been getting in at 6 with a stop at 5, right below that gap, or above the gap on the stock, below the gap on the option. 6 by 5 would have worked for a quick move up to this high at 12, and then 12. Yeah, it was right at 12, and then it came back down again. Or you could have been holding through this, which, I mean, you're giving back a lot, but you held through it, and you're not going to get as easy of a tight risk to reward. By getting out here and then getting back in. I mean, you don't know exactly where it's going to come back to. And this one, that's the one that didn't touch the 21. The rest of these, as it came back up, touched the 21. I guess that one didn't either. This touched the 21. This touched the 21. This touched the 21. All those you could have been shorting, and then not doing that one because it already hit a target. It took forever to get down here. I was expecting it to come down, either here or here. I thought it was going to flush down to 1880.05, and that was going to be it. So I was holding out for a little bit higher of a target for it to hit that, and it didn't do it till later in the day. So anyway, but just an incredible move, right off of some intraday signals, and any of these options just worked really, really well. 1890. Let's see what you could have done for this one. This you could have bought right at a buck, or maybe a $1.50 here. Let's see, right at 1030. Probably a $1.50. Doing a $1.50 by 50. Easily could have been doing 2 by 1. That ran up to the previous high right here around 6, and then came back down. Some nice small candles, doing 3 by 2, and that moved back up to 6 and actually 7. Anytime I made those touches back down to the 21, someone put in some nice candles, like some nice little hammers. Here's a nice hammer. Here's a nice hammer. And I mean, this one is right at $1.05. This one is right at 76. So, around $1 risk, just trading a candle like that. And each time it, at least gave you an R. The 1880, we did get down there, but that one did not cooperate as well, just because it spent so much time out of the money. But this one you could have been getting in like 50 by 1, getting into a couple of those, and had a nice move up to 2. Came all the way back down below 1, and just went, I guess it did hit 2 again. I was going to say you could have done 1, gotten in at 1 and a target at 2, but you probably could have just gotten in at like 75 by 25, got into a couple of them and then flipped it, doubled it, from 75 up to 150, or more than doubled it, and done that a couple times here too. So just because of where the option is at, you really need to know, kind of what your target should be. And that was something that I should have done better at, because I was in at 75 and out of part of the position at 125. And then I held on for a while looking for 5, which it hit here, but I had already exited earlier because I didn't want to be holding right into the close, because I thought it could flush lower, which it did after it hit this target. It did flush back down, but I didn't want to be exiting down here. I wanted to be exiting up here. So I'm like, well, I'll just get out, because it was hanging out. So I got out. So I'm at the like 250 price. So I think right in here. Yeah. So I had exited 125 right here in this candle, right before, no, 125 and what was that one? Hang on. I think it was this. I thought it was that candle. Maybe it was the next one. So I was in at 75, out at 125 on some, and then out at 250 over here on some of the rest. Yeah, right at 250 there. So I was out on the high of these candles, but definitely could have done better just holding through I did not like how many bearish candles were in a row. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row. I thought, okay, that's good. Easily could push back up here and be down in the position. It's like, no, just get out of some here. And then, 5 minutes, 10 minutes later, it was flushing way down. And it must have been this candle. Yeah. But anyway, it just had a continuation move. It was a really nice slow S curve, move down here, another S curve here. So overall, a really good day. trading Amazon and catching one of these big moves with intraday signals, the intraday gap crossing the 21 here. And just trading a really small risk unit on an option that was out of the money that moved actually in the money. Let's see, when did it move in the money? It was near the money or at the money, just about here, and then did end up moving into the money. And once it was in the money, it's like, okay, I'm just gonna have some fun with this. I'm just gonna let it do its thing, and hopefully it'll push down here. And it just took a little longer than I wanted it to get all the way down here. And so, anyway, I wasn't as patient as I should have been. Holding on for a move back down to the low of the day here, because I could have made so many more R's. But as it was, I I played it aggressively and it ended up with 15 R's on Amazon. So it was a really nice day, really nice Amazon day. So hope this helps. This is Just Amazon. Thanks.